WD-40, Post-it notes, and Slack. What do they have in common? Well, for starters, they were all failures. In fact, they were all huge failures at first, but those failures turned into billion-dollar breakthroughs. And today, billions of people around the world use them every single day. So here are their stories and what we can learn from them. First, let's start with WD-40. Ever wonder what the name means? It stands for water displacement, 40th formula. That's right. It took 39 failed attempts to get it right. Originally, it was made to prevent rust on rockets, but today, it's in almost every garage on Earth. And so far, they've sold more than 2 billion cans of it. The lesson: your 40th try might be the one that changes everything. Don't give up. If your current idea isn't working, try again, and again, and again. Because in science, there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. Speaking of sticky situations, next up, let's talk about Post-it notes. In the 1960s, scientists at 3 meters were trying to invent a crazy glue, something insanely strong that would forever bond materials together. For years, they toiled away in the lab, mixing chemicals and concocting compounds. But the results were always disappointing. Their formulas just weren't strong enough to really make any difference. It was a total flop. But one scientist, a guy named Spencer Silver, he wasn't so sure that it was a failure. He had an idea. Instead of giving up on the product entirely, what if they used the weak glue for sticky notes that could peel and His colleagues loved the idea, but they were wrong. They thought that the notes should stay stuck, so they pulled the Post-it notes off the wall and onto their computers where they belonged. Mistake became one of the greatest inventions of our lifetime. We now use it every single day. What's your failed idea actually good at? Is there another use case for it? Don't be afraid to pivot. Next up, let's look at Slack. In 2009, a group of game developers in San Francisco, they had a problem. They were spending way too much time in meetings. So they spent all their time building a chat tool. And when that was finished, they had nothing else to show for it. Their game was nowhere near done. In fact, they ended up scrapping the whole thing. But in the process, they had built something quite special. They had built a chat tool that was fun, intuitive, and easy to use. So they took that tool and turned it into its own company, Slack. Today, Slack is used by millions of people around the world to communicate with each other every single day. The takeaway: sometimes your side project will end up being your main project. When Amazon started, they were just an online bookstore. Google started as a research project at Stanford University, and Instagram started as a check-in app called Bourbon. Don't limit your thinking. Let your ideas breathe. Give them space to grow and the freedom to become something more than you originally envisioned. Now, I know what you're thinking. You want some more examples? Okay, how about Coke? Believe it or not, but it began as a nerve tonic in the 1880s. It was sold as a remedy for headaches. And fatigue, not exactly what you'd think of as the world's most famous beverage brand, right? But over time, Coca-Cola adapted and changed. They experimented with new recipes and new flavors until they hit it big with Coke. In 1929, they sold their first 6-pack of Coke bottles, and the rest is history. The origin story doesn't matter as much as how well you can adapt and change over time. Finally, let's look at bubble wrap, this iconic invention. It all started with good intentions. In the 1950s, 2 engineers, they wanted to create a 3-dimensional wallpaper. Yeah, you heard that right. Wallpaper. Imagine putting up wallpaper on your walls and then popping the bubbles while you're doing it. That would be pretty fun, right? But their invention wasn't exactly a hit. No one wanted 3D wallpaper. It sat on shelves, gathering dust. But eventually, one person came along who saw its true potential. She was shipping a fragile item, and she used the wallpaper to protect it. Voila, it worked. The rest is history. The point is, sometimes the value of your idea shows up in the hands of someone else. Just because it didn't work out for you doesn't mean it's a failure. All these stories prove one thing: failure isn't the end. It's feedback. Sometimes it's even the beginning of something bigger. Your mistake, your detour, your version 1, they might just be the first step to something the world didn't know it needed. So before you throw it away, ask yourself this: is this really a failure? Or is it just version 1 of your breakthrough?